Hello, everyone who is just joining. We are here with Comp Finance or Comp Financial. How do you guys are you
Um,
referred?
yeah, we do Comb Financial. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So we are here with Comp Financial guys. As you know, they are the most generous people to bribe us with the highest bribes so far. And yeah, we wanted to let their voice be heard because like they have been giving out so much free money to us basically as in spirit holders.
Yes, definitely,
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah. Can you guys introduce yourselves?
Yeah. So my name's Philip. I'm the lead developer here at Comb Financial. Um, and that's pretty much what I do. Sam.
How's it going, guys? Yes, I'm the Boosh, also go by Sam, handle growth and product here at Comb. And um, basically, we also do have another team member that's trying to come up on stage named Stinky
Yeah,
FTS.
I'll grab him as well. Yeah.
And we appreciate you guys hosting this. And, I think let's talk about it just to a few of your members.
Yeah. So Stinky, can you hear me?
Yo, what's going on?
Yeah. Hello, hello. How are you?
Yeah, good.
Can you introduce yourself as well before we get started?
Yeah, I can do a quick introduction.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm Stinky, aka Jacob. I'm head of the technical and research team here at Comb. I'm in charge of finding out, like, keeping on top of new projects that are on Phantom and a few new technologies, and presenting that to Moon and the rest of the growth and product team, along with keeping track of coming up.
Yeah. Great. So I like having multiple team members in an AMA because like you guys have different expertise and it will be easier for you guys to answer whichever one you choose to do so. So
Yep.
like, do you, by the way, Moon, I am hearing my own echo when I am like after you unmute your microphone, my end sentences like reflect back to me. If you can fix that, that will be great.
Okay. Does this sound better or?
Yeah. No, I hear myself like uh, try to unmute yourself like 3 or 4 seconds after I and my sentences should be better.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, okay, this works. So like before you started Comp Finance, do you have any past experiences and what were you guys up to before this point?
Yeah, so I can start. Basically, how I started in the blockchain was personally developing my own projects that tried to take the existing tech of Web3 and try innovating on Web2. So it'd be a subscription service that I was really fond of. Um, I was able to kind of I was trying to simplify the experience of paying using cryptocurrency in a subscription-based model as easy as possible by using great better interface and user experience. And in addition, I tried to innovate on the concept of DAOs and having them control a homepage. And so they were the little things that really stood out, but it wasn't necessarily in DeFi initially. But as I moved through just building on the blockchain, I slowly got into the tech and finally got myself into the DeFi space, and now I find myself here. So it's been a lot of fun, and I really like the nature of everything. So like one thing that I'm really like happy about is that being in the blockchain, being all decentralized and everything, I've met so many people, met like online, across the world, and like being with this team here, I wouldn't have had the same experience if I tried to start something in Web 2. So this is something I'm really grateful, at least in the Web 3 space.
Yeah. So uh, like you have been working on Web 2 and like joining Web 3. Like I agree with your sentiment because I'm joined crypto with my IRL friends. Like basically they were more involved than me, so I joined. But I have met so many people. Like I wouldn't have a business otherwise meeting, right? Because how do you like come together as a community before this, like one common purpose to like get rich basically. But there is so much more, like so much more to that as well.
Yeah, definitely. It's like, at least for me, I it's so weird like being in this culture is because now like my Discord sidebar is full of different servers. Um there's like good night and good mornings, and there's just it's so different than the Web2 space where you start a startup and all you have is just yourself, your team, and trying to find that audience. When in Web3, it's you, a community, and trying to build what's the next big thing. So it's really different from at least just anything regular or considered regular in just the real world. And so it's been exciting. It's been a long ride, and um, there have been like drawbacks and a couple of like setbacks, but at the same time, it's really an experience that I'm here to enjoy, and I'm really happy about where we've gotten today, and how we'll be going in the future. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the development of both Phantom, SpiritSwap, and Finance, because like there is so much more to come basically across all, not only Phantom but on all the like Web3 developments. Big things coming, I think.
Yeah, yeah,
So
I agree.
uh,
It's the portion or the percentage of captured like traditional real world like currency, like it's only a small portion that is captured in cryptocurrencies. And so it's only time for us to grow, and as more users and people adopt cryptocurrency in general, this space is just only gonna get bigger and bigger over time. So yeah, I'm really excited for the development of both SpiritSwap and Phantom, especially Phantom, because we know it's gonna just go big, and or at least every chain is gonna be about like 3x, 2x what it is gonna be now, because that's just the nature of how young everything is at right now. And it's just, although like a week in the crypto's time is a year, it's it'll take a bit of patience, but over time, as people, as generations get into cryptocurrencies, as countries start adopting cryptocurrencies, this will be something like really big. And the power of cryptocurrencies is in the fact that it's universal and can be used throughout like countries, and you don't have to require a
yeah,
giant GDP to kind of sustain a useful currency. And so yeah, there's a lot of benefits, and I'm really excited for where this has to come.
yeah, me too. So like let's not take most of our time. So let's move on to like the what the audience wants to hear. Like before we move on to the more heavy stuff, can you explain what the comp financial basically is?
Yeah. So basically, the rundown for Comb Financial is that we're trying to create so we have a multiple different services, and I think what we're trying to do, or what we are trying to do, is creating a bunch of services in which people could come into the Phantom ecosystem, that are trusted and secure. And so our main player right now is Zcomb, and basically this is one token to diversify your portfolio. Basically, we have multiple streams of revenue, and we plan on building more streams of revenue into Zcomb. And basically, the general gist of it is that you invest a token, so no need for impermanent loss or anything. And all you have to do is just invest comb into Zcomb, and you get a return in tokens over time. So we have a bunch of tokens that we're offering at the moment. That'd be Beats
Yeah,
Boost, Scream, T-Share, Solid X, Solid, Spirit. And over time, these tokens will we plan on increasing the streams of revenue. So over time, the APRs should increase. But that's the general gist. We're trying to make a ecosystem of products which people can trust and that are secured.
yeah. So like I was trying to get into the like I was in the Discord, your Discord, Com Financial Discord, when it was launching, but there was like a hectic amount of FUD regarding nodes, because like something happened, some node protocol like rugged or something, and the prices were like going down as far as I can remember before you guys launched. Does this have any impact of you moving from nodes as a service to like more of a like one click multiple strategies, or like DeFi as a service protocol?
Um, Not necessarily. We are still continuing the node service, and we're building new technology on top of the current node service so that it becomes more proprietary to at least us. I don't know how much I can share here, Sam, but do you think I could move forward on this?
Let's keep that on the DL for the time being. But I
Yeah.
think like really the main thing is it forces protocols to be better, right? To optimize constantly. That being said, with what happened with the rugs, sure it does kind of put it kind of it does because a lot of those were with DAS protocols. Wasn't really like nodes and services protocols, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
And we kind of transitioned towards the whole NAS sphere. However, yeah, it was a rough time for a lot of protocols out there. However, a lot of protocols are now going their own route, and
yeah,
which is really nice.
Yeah, and we're moving into the DeFi space a lot more than the others, but we're still iterating on our existing technology for the node service, and we have something in development that we're really excited about for at least our noders. And so I think a best way to kind of think of it is that we're offering a service which is paid in a decentralized currency. Right now, many of the services out there aren't offered for a decentralized currency. So like if you think if you're trying to buy a subscription for like a development subscription for I don't know, Stripe, right? You
yeah,
you can't buy that in cryptocurrency. You can't buy AWS credits for cryptocurrency, and so we're trying to open up like a gateway to using Comb and nodes to buy a service from us, which we'll keep, I guess, on the internal for now. But we're really excited about it, and
yeah.
of course, it'll be hosted on Phantom. So yeah.
So like if the bush wasn't here, you would probably like tell everything. I guess you were close
Um,
to.
I'm not sure. I'm really excited for the next step for at least node services, and it's gonna be something that's really like changing. Perhaps like we'd get on the news or something because of how abnormal it is. But yeah, it's something I wish I could share a little bit more, but not
Mhm.
today.
Not today, okay. Makes me a little sad, but it is how it is, I guess.
Like, if he doesn't like keep up, it'll come out soon. It'll come out soon. It just needs to be a lot more structured. And yeah, like I'm here to basically to be the party pooper at the end of the day. No, I'm kidding. Um,
It's true.
sorry. Stinky, did you have something to say? Actually,
It's true. Yeah. No. Yeah.
I'm
It
here to be the
is.
party pooper. Is that what's going on? Is
Yeah.
that
Yeah. Yeah. You always here to make sure we don't spill shit. Yeah.
Yeah, like good to have someone blocking all the spillage, I guess. So
I'm
yeah,
the king chat, right? I'm the base god. I see in you guys general chat, you guys have that base gift. I love that actually.
yeah,
And
yeah. Someone like our mod team likes to post that on a daily basis.
we haven't been getting any. I think I got to get like some spirit emissions from that. You know what I'm saying? Some royalties. Spirit.
Nah, we can't. We need the money.
Okay, go ahead.
So like we before I want to ask something about the note cap. So like I have been scouring your website for like a couple days now and a couple weeks I think because I was looking to invest in some like note as a service protocols, but I have seen that your note cap is reached. I tried to scour data like the documentations over this and I couldn't find much information. Is this a hard cap or is it a soft cap? Does it get reopened with allocations? Also, like we will discuss it in the future, but does the Nect or Nectar token like bypass this cap when creating new hives?
No, so the Nectar token at the moment, it's a way to kind of get into Zcom. So the issue with the voting escrow token, at least for Zcom, is that, or just tokens like Zcom, is that they're not transferable. And so a way that we can offer Zcom without necessarily offering comb is just Nectar, and it's just a utility token at the moment. Previously, it was to compound into nodes, but right now the nodes are capped at the moment. And so we're taking this time to actually iterate on existing technologies is because when node caps are up, basically we just have the ability to iterate on existing technologies and like numbers that aren't going to change for a while. But yeah, anyways, the node cap at the moment is it is there, and we don't plan on reintroducing the purchases of nodes in ever for a while, for at least unless there's a vote on it, perhaps because we are going to be entering like a governance model, and so we want everything to be voted on, so that us, a centralized authority, does not have the control over the true like nature of everything. And yeah, so that's at least the thought process for now. But to the basic under assumption and understanding for everybody else, there won't be a lift on the node cap anytime soon.
There are still nodes up. We did have an allocation, and we need to put this to the side. There's still an allocation of nodes for some larger investors to help that are not done through the traditional means of using 9 comb 15 or 30. Instead, you can go through OTC for over a certain amount. I think the number is still 50k, and that was just so that we could get some more internal funds for the treasury at a bit better rate for larger investments, and then they could get slightly better deals.
Yeah.
I think it should also be mentioned that the nodes will be tradable at some point, and the reason the documentation hasn't been updated on the website yet, we probably do need to put a banner up explaining it. It's because we have our version 2 white paper for the new system coming out. So updating it little bits here and there, it was just easier to wait for this whole white paper. But yeah, I agree. We probably should put a banner up.
Like, if I just add on, just because we cap nodes doesn't mean we're done with nodes. It's like the best way to word it. The main reason for the cap is for sustainability of the protocol. Like nodes are constant emissions daily, um, and there has to be a point that we want the protocol to sustain it to stop it, right? So that's like the main reason for
Yeah.
the cap. So I just want to try that. There's a lot more, um, let's say, a lot more innovation coming for our nodes. And that's when you guys gotta stay tuned and just, um, just keep up with the Discord, keep up with the medias, and you guys will know. For our current
Yeah.
investors right now, um, this is one of the benefits of being in early. At the same time, uh, if you did have a chance to get into our nodes, you have a chance to actually reap the benefits still by investing in Zcone, right? It's a revenue share model. So no matter what, everybody has a chance to still benefit from Comb. It's just at our current nodes, we just have to. It's just for the sustainability and longevity of the protocol.
Yeah. And it's like one thing we're really like we're right now in is the DeFi space, but something we really want to be known in, at least on Phantom and just the whole blockchain, is that being able to do like fun technology things. And although it to like people who just are here. Like we attracted an audience that really was looking for passive income. We
Yeah.
still consider an investment into the company and what they're doing. And so as long as we represent ourselves as a tech company and innovating on things that are may not be DeFi, but just technology in general, the money will just come our way because that's just what we believe is the best thing to do is just keep building and trying to build what's the next big thing.
Yeah. So actually like you guys like diversifying your project, because at one point, like a couple months ago, every project was a fork of some project and it was getting kind of stale. So like maybe the like price discoveries of said projects and the bad vibes around them for a couple of months, maybe it was a good thing, because like it allowed you guys and other projects to diversify and become creative with their products basically.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah. So, like, let's take a step back because, like, we have been discussing your tokens, because there may be some people who are unaware that what each token does and their functions. Can someone explain that quickly?
Yeah, so we currently have 2 tokens at the moment, and we plan on adding 2 more. Um, so our first token is Comb, and it's just a basic token that can be locked up into Zcomb, and it's the earning token for it's the mission token for our farms. So you stake your LPs into our farms and you earn Comb, in which you could lock your Comb into Zcomb to get daily rewards in a bunch of different tokens. And so this is the token we say to like diversify your portfolio, because the cool thing about the transition from the Node project to um, a kind of locked model is the fact that we were able to build up a treasury to maintain a constant revenue stream like years out. So that's pretty much what Comb is. The Nectar token is just a way of transferring or giving away Comb into Zcomb in just a kind of easy way. So if you have Comb, I mean Nectar, it's just backed by a single comb, and it could be unwrapped into Zcomb or at the previous time to compound into nodes, but that's a bit different. So those are our 2 tokens at the moment.
Yeah. So, like, before I move on, like, I wanna emphasize how Nectar or Nect token works because, like, you guys have generously offered a bribe using that, and some users may be confused as to how, like, yeah, if they would probably like understand it pretty easily if they went on the ahead and like read the tweet you there was a tweet regarding this, or like the like basically your documents. But like, can you guys explain in voice as to like how to utilize this token, or like to convert it into dollars basically?
Yeah, so it's pretty simple. You all you have to do is you already have to have an existing lock. So the minimum lock time for comb lock is 2 weeks. And so you have to open up a lock. It can be any amount of comb, even if it's like a cent of comb, right? You can buy a cent and lock that comb into Zcomb. And once you have that lock initially, you could then there will be a button under the I think extend amount, or it'll be on the Zcom page, right? And it'll be a button that says lock X amount of Nect into Zcom. And basically it's a one button click where it locks all of your Nect into Zcom. So it's pretty simple, it's straightforward. Just have a lock and have some Nect.
Yeah, yeah,
And then
pretty
yeah,
straightforward.
and then after 2 weeks minimum, you can get it out if your goal is to get to USD, and if you want to keep paying part of the revenue share, you can increase it to 2 years. So it's yeah, it can still be got out at a 2 week time period. I think it's also
Yeah.
important for the people who aren't participating.
Yeah, and yeah, it's really just we are gonna be maybe changing the distributions. We are making an in-spirit token really soon.
Oh.
Um, so this is gonna be named Bear Spirit, and basically we're trying to make innovations on what we want to do, at least for the just fighting for missions kind of idea. Not just in SpiritSwap, but as many dexes as possible. So it'll be a fun one when we start introducing Bear Spirit. And
Yeah, I was thinking, I was gonna suggest you guys to name it Bear Spirit. Like, I am glad that you guys have reached to that conclusion, but I hope you guys can like concoct a like derivation of our mascot, which like the solely which resembles a bear. Maybe that can be like the token image or something like that. If you guys can hack it.
yeah, of course,
We could just
we'll
run a
try our
community
best.
event. I just run a
Yeah,
community event on that one. The community has done some good jobs in the past, coming out with some crazy emotes.
Yeah. Yeah, great. Before like let's move on to like more in quotation mark hard questions. Like there are some multiple, as the Bush mentioned earlier, there are some multiple emissions that yield comb, right? So like that can lead to inevitable dilution. When I say inevitable, you guys have obviously some like blocks and prevention measures for this. Can you explain like more of a utility based perspective as to what comb is looking to do and how you guys can prevent the price from like being diluted by the comb emissions?
Yeah. So the carbon emissions from the farm actually aren't that bad. We've had a lot of misconceptions recently where noders, like they assumed the farm was going to be an issue to begin with, even though we did talk about how it would work, and then they ended up selling off. So actually, when we were checking Nick, the total volume and where it was coming from, a lot of the selling was actually coming from nodes, either noders either not understanding the new system or not liking it, and that's fine. They don't have to like it. So um, if they sell off their node rewards, that's pretty much like selling off a portion of their shares, right? It was what it actually equates to, considering they get constant emissions and that they have to lock that up to hold a certain share. I'll be going into the math more in the white paper for people that don't get it, but the farm emissions aren't actually diluting it that bad. There is also a maximum cap. So in 2 years' time, roughly, the farms will actually dry up unless there is a vote using Zcomb as we introduce the governance model to change that. But currently, that is where it is set to end. At that point, we would have other platforms in place for revenue generation, and therefore the farm would be redundant. And at which point, your share is what it is, and it either unlocks and you can sell it, or we'll be looking into the financial NFT model that Liquid Drive have recently paired with someone else to produce and has been
Yeah,
shown to be successful. So yeah, those are all different options on there, and why I don't see the dilution as a big issue. I think once we have more of these revenue sources put out, not just the auto compounder and the farms and a few other projects we're working on, that buy pressure and that lock pressure will help to support the price from the emissions, and educating the node community a bit more on why we
yeah,
think they should be locking their comb will also help to alleviate that. But due to the revenue from the Zcomb, the price being flat almost is also okay because of the revenue you're getting on top of the
yeah,
token. So it really comes down to the perspective of the person investing. Yeah.
yeah. I like sideways actions when like considering emission tokens because like it can't always increase. But when it goes sideways, like you get what you
hmm
came for. Basically, you get the return of investment in the like approximately in the set amount of dates that you put the investment in, and like people are expecting 10x in like 10 minutes, so that becomes a problem with in their mind basically, that the emissions are dangerous. But if you can provide good utility, there is nothing wrong with having more tokens in the ecosystem.
Yeah, and like I think something to think about is if we're sitting at 1 million tokens, because that's the current the current runway for that 2 year
Yeah,
time period. Again, unless it gets voted to be changed, I just need to keep mentioning that over and over for people. But at that with those parameters and our current price, that would only put our market cap for everything we're doing and been innovated on at a fully diluted valuation of like 140 million. That's not an over diluted, fully diluted
yeah,
valuation. Some projects, at our size and how young they are, will have like $1 billion fully diluted
yeah,
valuation before they have any products. 140 million is not much of a like it's quite small and is not in my mind very overinflated, and it gives us a lot of time to build towards that, and in 2 years time the project being worth that is definitely doable. It's much more reasonable than some of these diluted projects at a billion plus. Yeah.
yeah. I agree. Like I get the like perspective of the like the people who are like in the node, right? Because it's additional emissions coming up to the project, because they thought they would, maybe they invested early and the project did not have the like farm vision in mind. I don't think that as a bad thing. Not saying it as a bad thing, but maybe they took it uh, like from a like plain viewpoint where they basically are more emissions, less value. Like let's sell it off. Maybe like uh, counter to that is maybe like nodes or like validate like having nodes uh, acts like we have in Spirit boosting the farms, right? They have more like rewards. The more in Spirit you lock, maybe that can be applied with a similar strategy as to having nodes increases the like reward percentage from the farms if they put it in there.
Yeah, that's actually a good idea and innovation for the nodes. We've been focusing on a few of the other features for them that I need to be careful tiptoeing around. But yeah, I feel nodes did feel a little bit hard done by some of them. There was a bit of sentiment
Yeah,
thinking that we'd forgotten them, but that's just not true. This is just a transitionary phase that we had to do to build on top for our financial services, and in the long run, it will benefit them. I do try keep reminding them that if they're locking their comb into Zico, they'll hold a portion of all revenue because we will funnel it through there. If they choose to sell it, then that is, that's fine. Um, but I really want to make sure they all understand what that actually implies for the long term. It's once it gets closer to the end, it's going to be harder to get back that portion if you've been selling off your percentage, right?
yeah.
Um, yeah.
Yeah, so like what they like the early investors may think that they have forgotten, but like they are getting the best returns at the moment, I would assume, because like the farm emissions can be an alternative emission resource, but the like your basis is was or uh, should I say the like the it was the main revenue stream of your protocol, and it probably still returns pretty good amounts, I would assume. So like a
Yes.
panic
Yeah.
may be unwarranted there.
Yeah, I think so. And if you look at the first few days, a couple 100% APR, like that's nothing to scoff at. Like people were acting like the world was, ending, but those returns are still pretty good. And node holders, um, for their percentage of the share, they haven't they have to think about their investment a little bit differently to say farmers or some other users, as they have an initial investment that they're getting. They should look at the ROI more than the APR fluctuation. Though the APR is still good, they're still going off of a base investment, right? And where your returns are the same as in a traditional sense if the token went up in value. Your ROI if you purchase something at $10 going to 100, is 10x. But if you're
Yeah,
put in $1,000 and you get back $10 a day for 2 years, then you got back, what's that, 7.2k, seven just over. So that's, a 7x in itself. So there's different ways to think about um, how the returns actually work and what that actually means for how much money you actually put into something. And I feel like people do overlook that. And like so far, this is in my mind working really well for something that is still very small compared to what we can do. And so if this is our base level we're building off of, I don't think there was any need for people to be um, as scared. But I do understand that new things can get like that. And we have to remember the Node community. A lot of people forget that
yeah,
a lot of these users don't do DeFi before this. They came for nodes, and that's like the only projects they really invested in. So it is a big change for some of these newer investors to the DeFi
yeah.
space. Hmm.
I agree. So, like, as we are talking about future use cases and like the emissions being over, like not being really important because like there are so many features coming. Like, can you, like, I have been positively surprised by you guys entering the metaverse and like creating a like entering the metaverse and going through that route also. Like, can you give us any information about that?
Yeah, so I think Sam could go off on this. Do you want
Yeah,
to,
yeah,
Sam?
of course. So, yeah, so our first room, and it's kind of difficult. I'm gonna have to kind of describe the room. So how do you guys? I'm sure some of our community members have seen our first room and all that good stuff, and it's kind of hard to kind of describe a game to you guys if you haven't seen it. So I apologize. Well, if you guys are interested, just reach out and we'll make sure to send you guys some pics and all that good stuff, so you can at least, you know,
Yeah,
have some visual representation. But essentially, the first room of our metaverse is going to be a room that, we want you to use our investors to be familiar with, right? We want you to be normalized and all that good stuff, where it's a room that's yours. right? A great example is if we think about um, like games in the past. Like an example would be, I know it's like talking years back, but let's think of like Club Penguin, right? When you had your own room, your own igloo, whatever it was, and essentially it was yours, right? And that's the whole idea with the
Yeah.
first room is that it's your room. You can deck it out. We're gonna think of ways to deck it out. Start making implementation. Now, the iteration we're making right now with it. So we're actually anticipating to do some sort of launch, hopefully within the next few weeks of just releasing the first room, maybe perhaps, or it's still in the discussion. We're deciding whether to release, just one section at a time, or if we just release like kind of fully developed, like kind of like two, three iterated game, but it's still in discussion. However, the next iteration after that first room is where we integrate our partners, right? An example would be we also want to integrate a SpiritSwap NPC where investors can interact with that SpiritSwap NPC
Yeah.
and they can trade, right? In the same way as right now we have Coco, which is our 3D modeler. He is creating already fleshed out kind of the 3D renders for
Mhm.
the Playmates R&D who are another who are another like partner protocol with us. And the whole idea is that we're going to create a whole new world within our verse. And then the idea is that in the future, in times come, like the third iteration this is gonna be turned into an MMO. And instead of having the AMA in Discord here, right, we'd have the AMA in there, right?
Oh, it would be
And
great.
that's
Yeah.
where it's gonna get really awesome, right? And that's where it's gonna get super fun. It's because you can actually interact, go in there, have a stage, sit down, and you can actually have an AMA. And
Yeah.
having that it's awesome because the next step after that is what, right? There's a lot of there's obviously going to games like PDE and all that good stuff. But an industry that this can pair really well with is the AR and VR industry, right? So it's like
Mhm.
there's a lot of growth in that specific section for a protocol. However, we want this to be a more of a social gathering, not more of a incentivized financially type program, if that makes sense. We want this to be actually something that people enjoy and have fun with. And we have a lot of good initiatives with that too. And we want to make this a lot more of a fun gathering, and all that good stuff too.
Yeah.
Or you can also harvest your rewards at the same time.
Yeah. So like I am all for metaverses, to be honest. Like I am looking at like Ethereum metaverse NFTs and like invested in those. So like, will you be introducing NFTs to like implement your metaverse? Will the Hive node owners or Hive owners get like their own in quotation mark hives or rooms that they can edit out, flesh out, and like do whatever they want in there? How will that work? Do you guys have the details, or are you guys keeping it on the down low?
Well,
No, no,
no,
yeah,
yeah. So, Phil, do you want to, or do you want me to?
no. Oh, well, I was just gonna say no. We're gonna have skins for the players and the hives themselves, and we're looking to do a mystery box kind of style. We are still waiting on a way to do VRF, but at the same time, uh, we're kind of still moving forward with this. So yeah, at the moment, we're just looking to have skins for almost everything, including your room itself. And then we're just gonna move forward from there and add more, basically integrate more. It'd be like exchanges, NPCs, just a lot of things in general, just to kind of create a hub for just DeFi.
Yeah.
But yes, there will be specialized NFTs associated there.
hmm Yeah, because like it's easier to do so, like integrating NFTs to it, because like people can invest in the metaverse in that way. Maybe it can help like bring additional revenues in that regard. I don't know how you guys are envisioning the model of it, but
Yeah, so like I think something important to mention is the reason we trying to do these financial services first is to make sure we have a really solid base layer for the revenue generation, and then we could make a metaverse and a game that the community could enjoy, and it fit a vision without having to worry about does it have to make money right then. We can actually just make it good, because a lot of the
Yeah,
issues I think that people try to get when they get into these things is they try and focus too much on how much money can it make right now, and it's not even fun. It's not good. It doesn't work. Nobody wants to use it, and it gets hyped up because we have no games. We're starved for games, so people pile in, but it dies
yeah,
after a few weeks. We've seen a few trendy games follow this kind of pattern where it doesn't really, it's not cool, it's not fun. We just pretend it is for a little bit because we have no other choice, right? Well, we don't
mhm,
want to focus on that. We don't want to focus on making something shitty just because it needs to make money straight away.
yeah.
We want to have a baseline so we can build something up as we grow, and that is actually fun and interactable for the community.
Yeah, I agree that like most of the metaverse projects going forward like end up being a cash grab basically, because like it's a low quality and like the base is taught upon like in a couple weeks where they like don't do their due diligence, and like yeah, people come into the hype or what's this and like instantly leave it once there is like it's a shell of a project basically.
Yeah, like Pixelmon is a huge disaster. That,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
like raised heaps of money and was a complete
Yeah.
disaster. We have like
Some
the
guy
Sun.
got no NFT, like
Yeah, it's completely
yeah,
blank.
yeah,
Like what the like it was a cool idea and hope and stuff, but like it wasn't a playable game. It wasn't fun, and they just over
yeah.
promised without having a game that's fun. There's cash grab.
That's playable even,
Yeah,
like
even playable. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And no game's definitely not fun, but a playable game would have been a good start. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I am looking forward to the metaverse, but I want to ask a question as to like how many people approximately are in your team, because like you guys are dipping your toes into multiple seas of Web3 basically, with nodes, DeFi, and now metaverse, maybe more in your roadmap. Like you guys are keeping some stuff on the down low, and now Bear Spirit will come. Like, how many people are working, and do you think like will you introduce more people to the team? Like, it's really ambitious development, and I like to see it, but it may be a bit challenging, right?
Yeah, so how we're approaching this is we're taking it like one step at a time and figure out what our priorities is. So we currently have a 23 member team for at least throughout the whole like project. So that'd be operations, growth, research, and development. And we're kind of how we're approaching this is we're planning like one thing at a time, and so we like full force on one thing and then move on to the next, and that's how we're gonna approach like the amount of things we're trying to head at. So
I
yeah.
think I'll touch on something quickly as well. As a few of these larger projects are coming after some things that we can't talk about, but will have extra a little bit of extra work for us in the short term, but in the long term, there'll be ventures that gain us a lot of capital that we can onboard some devs either permanently or temporarily for some of these other projects. So once we get to that point, and we start building some of these bigger things that and the more ambitious things. We do have things in place before that to have extra revenue behind the scenes to be able to pay for some more developers on that front. But so far, we've got everything covered.
Yeah, good to hear. Like, yeah, I can see how like cramming and working hard on the short term can lead to like once the protocol sets in, like you can just relax and do the developments like slower basically, and get more value out of them, both like in a production sense and like a monetary sense, because like when you set like a certain points in the protocol where you have something set, it's easier to build on top of them and like relax meanwhile.
Yeah,
I agree.
and we kind of got lucky in a way with our team. And what I mean by that is a lot of people here in the team do see this as a long-term project, and because of that, we've been able to temporarily, hold off spending a lot of money on the team and putting it just all into building, and everyone's been okay with that, and everyone's stuck around, knowing that once we grow up the community and we have everything working, then we can worry about that a little bit more. And we do have plans in place for that. So in the short term, we've been able to keep building so much because we've just been able to use all of the money to be either distributed back to the community or to build new products. So yeah, it's been good.
Yeah, I think that's the beauty of Web3 also, because like not one company like could convince their like employees as to like, yeah, we guys are like, we will spend all of our money on investing in our firm or like company, whatever, and you guys won't get paid a little. But yeah, if there is a vision in mind
Yeah.
and a community in mind, like it all comes together basically.
Yeah, the beauty here is, you work 100+ hours a week, in the
Yeah.
launching stage, in the early stages, and you won't get paid fuck all, and you'll like it, like.
Yeah.
But I think
Yeah.
I've enjoyed this more than any like past jobs I've had, and it definitely doesn't make me the most money. It's just because there's something about Web3 that's just like so beautiful, and like seeing how things come together, and like the novelty of building in a space that's so young is amazing.
Yeah, we're all early, I guess. Like it's a catchphrase, but it works when it works.
In terms of tech
Mm.
anyway, we're definitely early. Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, do you guys want to add something regarding the protocol before we start to wrap this up?
Um, Sam, do we want to touch up on the NFT project? I think we can start here.
Oh,
We can give a slight highlight. So we've been actually working. So this is totally different from all of our other initiatives. Just want to say that this is its own campaign, and its own sector, and this opens up a whole new world of possibilities. Now I can't go into like specifics just yet, but we've secured the deal essentially with a company in the Valley, where we are now going to be their launchpad per se, or not launchpad, but their bridge from this Silicon Valley to the DeFi sector,
mm.
right? And this is like real world assets that are going to be converted into NFTs. Um, and I think the best way to kind of define it in a way is if you guys like Star Wars, I think you guys are going to have a good time.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I like Star Wars, like not the new ones. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, probably everyone says that, but I like Star Wars.
it's actually amazing. So it's we're gonna be coming out with it really soon about like this actual specifics. But just for legality and all that good stuff, we have to like we have to be cautious when it comes to stuff like this. However,
Yeah.
we're extremely excited because like our whole goal was from going bottom up, right? And this is a huge chance and a huge opportunity for us as a protocol because given the opportunity, given the outcome of this is going to open up a lot more doors. And by even capping nodes and by us even like going towards a different route, right? Implementing farms, these different services, this just opened up a variety of different doors for us, right? And the beauty is that like we're getting approached. Fortunately, this was actually more of an internal connection that was like, hey, this is something that's going to go on, and they noticed the development. They also noticed
Hmm.
our platform exposure, and they're like, yeah, this would be a great opportunity. Now, this is just it's one of those things that just we're extremely excited, and I know the community is going to love it as well.
Oh, yeah. Like I think that you guys are like giving out like bits and pieces of information, and I can sense some people's mouth drooling because like you guys are like not giving away much information but teasing us in a good way. Yeah,
Exactly.
can't
Well,
looking
well, I'm the
forward to
chat at the
that.
end of the day, right? I'm the
Yeah.
chat. What can you expect? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, but community, I trust your community in being a detective. Want to find out what your guys are hiding, and give me the information.
Well, I gave
Yeah,
a
Yes, definitely.
they try and get us. They try and wait till we're tired and ask us a lot of questions over and over, trying to hope we slip up.
Yeah, like wake you up from your bed and ask you questions.
Mm.
So good. With your sleepy head, you will give alphas.
Oh, if the boost wasn't here, you could have baited me this morning. I haven't slept for like 4 hours, so.
Yeah, yeah. He blocks us. Unfortunate.
I'm sorry, my chiseled jawline just blocks everything. I'm kidding. And Willow answered a question. I'm so keen to know what the node news is. They're keep on the download. So this is actually completely separate from our node news, right? Our node news. That's what I'm saying. This is totally separate initiative. It's a separate campaign, and this is actually the beauty, right? Like we are a protocol. Remember what we are. We want to be offered as a true DAS, which means that we're going to keep
Mhm.
building decentralized products within the Comb ecosystem. And your
Yeah,
entries through that is with Zcone. So there's a lot of cool stuff that's coming our paths. Um, and the beauty of it is that, Spirit, you guys are right there with us.
yeah.
It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, we can't like I'm teasing you guys about giving more information, but like the team is like bashing me in the head. Like I wanna like tell the community what V2 does and like big stuffs are coming. Like I wanna inform the community, but they're like, no, 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 don't inform anything. Yeah, so I can understand you guys like keeping it.
Well, so it's not necessarily more so that it's more so just having a nice structured campaign going on, right? So for
Yeah,
me, like
yeah,
an example would be even with Zcom coming out, I did a lot of impromptu AMAs. We all did, right, within our own
hmm
Discord. Um, because at the end of the day, what it comes down to, this is your investment, right? And we don't like to
yeah,
I've never been an advocate of like keeping secrets and all that good stuff, especially from investors, right? Because you
yeah,
guys need to know, and the whole idea of this is to be as transparent as possible. It is more for the security of our future and all that good stuff. We want to make sure everything's finalized, and actually practice what we preach. Like we want to make sure it's going to be there's like an actual roadmap ahead. So that's the whole idea. But however, we still like to build some hype, right? Like that's just fun. It's just the whole essence of like kind of keeping it kind of gamified a little bit. But I realize that like I just want to make sure that the whole idea, even doing AMAs and all these talks, is that we always want to give you guys
yeah,
some sort of like alpha, some sort of direction, so that you guys are more incentivized and encouraged to actually attend these, right? The whole idea behind this is to educate you guys, educate everybody, right? As the more knowledge we get as a community, the more knowledge. Like example is that you guys host these AMAs with these different protocols coming in and describing the product, right? This is
yeah,
extremely crucial, and like the thing is our community is it's growing. This whole sector is growing, and we need to make sure that like people that are investing know what they're investing into, right?
yeah.
And that's the whole main idea.
Yeah, like I do AMAs where basically like I really want to include the people who bribe our protocol because like I don't like when like we get the bribe basically like you guys distribute it and instantly people are dump right, uh, because like when they come and listen to you guys, what the protocol is, like they can maybe incentivize to hold it, use it, maybe they will get more value in doing so. And like I want to be the one to introduce them, like be the bridge with the protocols, like to see the bribes being sent like not as dollars but as to more opportunities in the ecosystem basically.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah, so like I'm glad you guys have come and bring multiple team members. I am humbled as to like having to talk to you guys. It's been fun. Did I miss anything? Like I don't want to keep you guys too long. uh yeah,
No, I think we're good. Just like a recap.
I'll just
Yeah.
yeah,
mention one thing. That I do need to finish getting out to the community show, but I've mentioned it a few times, and I mentioned it in our AMA, but we are working on also teaching our community, because some of them are kind of new to Phantom as a whole,
yeah,
about the potential of the Phantom incentive and what that means for our protocol. Um, to put it into context, if you took the average price of what it was to make a node per comb for all the nodes that exist,
yeah.
if we got the max Phantom incentive, that on its own, if Phantom went back over $2, would cover more than $1 per dollar put in from
Oh,
investors on its own. That's one of the perks of having the node cap that we
Yeah.
didn't really mention too much, but it was something I considered. Where the lower node cap means that yes, it's a little bit harder to get the phantom incentive, but if we do get it and we do put things in place properly, that it actually covers all of our investors almost in itself. Let alone the fact we have our other services. So that's something that I will look to explain more, but also something that I want to keep bringing up every now and then as I work towards having a good description of it for the community.
Yeah, I get us the like. I think the education part of it is really important. Also considering like if we consider SpiritSwap, where there are like gauges, bribes, votes, and like farms and launch pads, NFTs, blah blah blah, and it can get confusing and overwhelming as to investors. And you guys are moving on like a similar mindset where you guys will be a DeFi as a service where you have multiple protocols partnered, invested, looked at, and like nodes, NFTs, and yeah, I think education of investors is really crucial there. Yeah, so let me start to wrap it up. Thank you guys for your bribes, for your contribution to our ecosystem, basically with your multiple stuff that you're building, and like uh, attention to the community. If you want to like be involved and get the bribes that I'm mentioning, it's through InSpirit. Basically, you it's a governance token where you get protocol fees, bribes. If you hold InSpirit, don't forget to vote for upcoming snapshots because we are uh, having some troubles reaching quorums. Had to plug this in because like it's becoming a problem basically with our DAO protocols. Oh, speaking of DAOs, your guys are moving on to a DAO with Zcom, right?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, so it's Zcom basically as your like governance token. Yeah, am I understanding this
Yeah,
correctly?
that is correct. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So once again, thank you guys for coming. Uh, I hope I didn't bore you guys too much.
No, no, don't worry about it. Like, this was awesome. This is great, and we really enjoy this opportunity to kind of talk to your community and to talk to you too, Yusenko.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you guys for coming in multiples. As I said, I love having multiple members in my AMAs basically because like different voices are like a platform and it becomes more engaging to the community as well.
No, of
Yeah,
course,
definitely.
anytime, anytime. Thank you for having us. I think there's one question in the audience, but OC.
Gosu, it's Gosu.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah,
Don't. Gosu.
All right.
He just came in late. What the hell, Gosu?
All righty. I guess thank you once again. Thank you
yeah.
everybody in the community. And yeah, stay tuned. There's a lot to come. A
Will
lot to
we be
come.
expecting more bribes
Oh,
from
you
you
already
guys?
know. I gotta keep you smiling, right? I'm already
Yeah,
I'm hearing you smile behind that mic, right? I gotta keep
yeah,
that
yeah,
perfect.
yeah. I'm ear to ear, man.
Yeah, more bribes, buying some more spirit for in
Yeah,
spirit. Lots of things coming. Yep, don't worry about it. We're out here.
yeah.
Thank you for
Thank you
having
guys.
us, and it was a pleasure to come on and talk.
Yeah, good night and good day wherever you guys are. Hope to talk to you guys later.
Cheers. Cheers.
Yes. All
Cheers.
right. Thank you.
Bye.